The furor over Bill Henson's photographs of a 13-year-old girl is still resounding around the country. Look, governments have a job to run a country. Now, for example, in this case, a police force raided an art gallery that was holding an exhibition of photographs which included Bill Henson's work of a 13-year-old girl. And the next thing you know, we've got it happening everywhere. He's a pornographer. He's not. He's a photographer. What he did wasn't pornography. It was photographs of a girl done back in the 1970s. But times have changed. And at the same time when this happened, there was a furor over the 14-year-old model that was modelling in Sydney or whatever from Europe. And the next thing you know, she'd gone topless. So it was also feeding on other events that were happening in society. But you can't go running around with these sort of outrageous comments saying he's a pornographer, because as it went through the general, see, people are hiding in anonymity. They're making comments as part of a faceless mob. They'll never experience it or understand what's going on themselves. They're just making a comment and they can feel justifiably outraged because A, they're anonymous, and B, they're agreeing with what it seems a majority of outraged people are doing, so they're not going to get their own houses burnt down or raided. For example, our Prime Minister commented, I think his words were, it was just revolting. Our Prime Minister doesn't say things from the heart. He says it for public approval. He could see what was happening in the newspaper and on the radio. He was being informed that, so he takes the higher ground, the higher moral ground, not the personal artistic opinion of what art is. And then there was all the words that were coming out about, well, okay then, does that mean that everybody who takes a photograph of their baby is a potential pedophile? Because they're taking these photographs of their naked babies. And all those paintings in art galleries of the fallen Madonna and the Madonna with child, etc., etc., etc. Having Jesus naked. Now these pedophilic. And then we had art galleries being raided by the police and taking down their Bill Henson photographs. Photographs which are in art galleries around the world. What does this say about society? It says something about Australian society. Because after they said that, well, he's a pornographer, and they found out that this wasn't really truthful because it was nothing to do with pornography or pedophilia, they started saying, he's exploiting a 13-year-old girl. Well, does that mean that every reality TV show that these people watch isn't exploitation? People are working for nothing. Oh yeah, they might get their payment of, what do you call it, a little token amount to cover their wages and their expenses while they're on the show, but they're not being employed. They're being exploited. They're being put under the public ringer and voted on or off these programs. That's what exploitation is, just as much as taking photographs of a young girl is and releasing them as photographic art. The difference is, art is a very small part of society. Television is a far wider medium for entertainment purposes and viewing purposes. And you people will sit and watch those programs and be outraged and carry on and entertained in your own homes, but you'll suddenly hop on an artist because it's in a topical area which is a concern to everybody and have the complete ignorance to call him a pedophile. People, you really aren't with the plan. You really don't know what's going on outside of your own neighbourhood. You're all hiding behind faces of anonymity on newspapers, on radio, and on the internet. That is the problem. It's not the people who are producing and performing and creating art, because it's nothing to do with the topics you're trying to ascribe it to. It's about the people who sit down behind anonymous faces and names and attack in the mob. That's what we have to be concerned of. Not about individuals who stand up and be recognised. It's about the people who hide in the crowd. Bill Henson, fine photographer, never seen his work, didn't even see the works that were actually causing all the furor until they were put in the paper, because I had no intention or interest of looking at them. I wasn't offended by them. They were just photographs. I've seen far worse